weird video games.
There's some games out there that are pretty weird, but are made that way on purpose to be funny, or to try to be. As such, I consider these comedic weird games to be honorable mentions. There are tons of games like this, and the more successful ones have even spawned sequels, so I'm only going to mention a few particularly weird or groundbreaking ones. Caveman Olympics. Ugh-lympics for Commodore 64. An obvious spoof of the popular Olympic video games by Epix, this game features cavemen competing in a series of Stone Age events which are fairly odd. Such as running from a saber-toothed tiger, clubbing, and fire starting. Of all of these events, though, the mate toss takes the cake. Now that is an Olympic event. You just can't get away with stuff like that these days. Am I right, guys? James Pond 2, codename Robocod, for the Amiga. This is the second in a series of cheesy games starring a secret agent fish named James Pond. I guess the developers felt that making a sequel where he's a robot would make sense. This game isn't too weird, but there is something inherently bizarre about a bionic secret agent fish stretching to dozens of times his own height. Pigskin 621 AD. This is what you might call a pre-football football game that takes place in the Dark Ages. Large armored men beat the mutton out of each other in order to get the ball across the line. I wish real football was like this. In fact, why isn't it? Toe Jam and Earl for the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive. This cooperative game has two alien buddies named Toe Jam and Earl, crash landing on Earth and collecting ship parts so they can return home. There are a few things weird about this game. First, this is supposed to be on Earth, but most of the game consists of walking around on islands floating in the middle of space and avoiding really unusual enemies and obstacles. Along the way, the characters collect mysterious packages that contain things like rocket skates and pogo sticks, and even Icarus-style wings. What's really weird though, is the elevators into space. It's Earth! Where on Earth does this technology exist? Shut up. Earthworm Jim for Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. This game rules. A little earthworm named Jim accidentally stumbles upon a super suit that makes him a super powerful hero armed with a plasma gun. Jim's ability to use himself as a whip or as a propeller gives the gameplay a wacky twist. Where it gets really weird is the places he goes and the people he meets. On a mission to save Princess What's-Her-Name, that's actually her name, Jim finds himself rotting on planet Heck, bungee jumping over a pool of mucus, and inevitably fighting Queen Slug for a butt. No, that's not actually her full name, but I don't want to make this video 20 minutes long. The same creators of this game put out another game called Boogerman for Sega Genesis and later for the Super Nintendo. You can expect the same kinds of insanity as a big fat superhero flings boogers, belches, and farts at evildoers. Ninja Clowns. I really don't know if there's anything that needs to be said about this one. However, Ninja Baseball Batman is awesome. 4 bat-wielding ninjas fight gigantic living baseballs and other baseball-themed monsters. If they had this in my arcade, I'd be playing with my friends all the time instead of Ninja Turtles or X-Men. Finally, Conker's Bad Fur Day for Nintendo 64. While this game is pretty strange, I think the story of how it came to be is really what the weird part of this is. The company Rare, known for its colorful, kid-friendly platform games, was originally planning to make a game called Conker's Quest based on the character they created for other games like Diddy Kong Racing. For whatever reason, they decided to overhaul it and turn it into a heavily adult-themed game.
What, again?
So what we have now is a cartoon squirrel drinking heavily and fighting giant poo monsters.
Me, 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 me.
I really don't know.
I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat?